Indecision doesn't look weak. It pretends to be intelligent. It hides behind caution. It whispers, wait, think, be safe. But while you hesitate, someone else decides. And in this world, the man who decides first controls the outcome. Thomas Shelby doesn't pause for comfort. He doesn't wait for certainty, because he knows something most never learn. Indecision is weakness, and weakness is expensive. This video is about ending doubt, killing hesitation, and becoming the man who moves while others are still thinking. Indecision hands control to others. Indecision is never neutral. It is never harmless. It is a quiet admission that you don't trust yourself. In every room, in every situation, power is always moving. If you don't take it, someone else will. And the moment you hesitate, you surrender control without a fight. Thomas Shelby understands this instinctively. He knows that authority doesn't come from knowing everything. It comes from choosing and standing by the choice. Indecision is weakness because it exposes uncertainty. And uncertainty invites pressure. People sense it. They feel it. They push harder when they know you're unsure. While you're weighing options, replaying scenarios, searching for guarantees, others are shaping the outcome. They define the pace. They control the narrative. They force you to react instead of leading. Shelby refuses that position. He would rather choose imperfectly than wait perfectly. Because movement creates leverage, and leverage creates dominance. Most men believe waiting makes them safer. In reality, it makes them predictable. Predictability is a liability. Indecision drains confidence from the inside. Each delayed decision teaches your mind that it cannot be trusted. And once self-trust erodes, hesitation becomes a habit. Shelby's mindset is brutal but effective. Decide early. Adjust later. He knows that mistakes can be corrected, but lost momentum cannot. Indecision hands power to others because it freezes you in place. And the world doesn't wait for frozen men. If you want strength, you must choose. If you want control, you must move. Because the moment you hesitate, you stop being the player and become the piece. Clarity is forged through action. Clarity does not come from thinking longer. It comes from moving. Most people wait for certainty before they act. They tell themselves they're being careful, strategic, intelligent, but what they're really doing is hiding from responsibility. Thomas Shelby knows better. He understands that the world does not reward hesitation. It rewards momentum. Action forces clarity. The moment you move, the fog lifts, information appears. Options reveal themselves, reality responds. Indecision keeps you blind because nothing changes while you wait. No feedback, no leverage, no progress. While others sit still, hoping for perfect understanding, Shelby acts with what he has. Not recklessly, decisively. Every decision sharpens instinct. Every action builds confidence. Every movement trains the mind to trust itself. This is why indecision is a weakness. It robs you of experience. It delays growth. It keeps you stuck in theory while others live in results. Shelby would rather make 10 imperfect moves than one perfect thought, because imperfect action creates momentum, and momentum creates power. Waiting feels safe, but it's dangerous. It allows fear to grow louder than logic. It lets doubt rewrite your priorities. The decisive man doesn't wait to feel ready. He becomes ready by acting. Clarity is not found in silence. It is forged in motion, and once you understand that, indecision loses its grip, because you stop asking for certainty and start creating it. Fear disguises itself as logic. Indecision is rarely about intelligence. It's about fear wearing a clever mask. Fear doesn't announce itself honestly. It doesn't say, "I'm scared." It says, "Let's think this through again. What if this goes wrong? Maybe later is better." Thomas Shelby sees through that lie. He understands that fear is not the enemy. Obedience to fear is. Indecision becomes weakness the moment fear starts steering your decisions. It slows you down. It clouds judgment. It convinces you that standing still is safer than stepping forward. But fear grows in silence. The longer you wait, the louder it gets. It feeds on time and imagination, on imagined consequences that rarely come true. Shelby doesn't wait for fear to disappear. He moves while it's still whispering, because action cuts fear in half. Motion breaks its grip. The moment you step forward, fear loses authority. Most men freeze because they want guarantees. Shelby knows there are none. He trusts one thing only, his ability to adapt after the decision is made. Fear wants comfort. Power demands courage. Indecision keeps you trapped in your head, replaying scenarios that haven't happened. Decisiveness forces you into reality, where strength is built and confidence is earned. Shelby's philosophy is ruthless. Fear is information, not instruction. You acknowledge it. You measure it. Then you move anyway, because the man who lets fear decide his timing will always live on someone else's schedule. Indecision is weakness because it allows fear to write your story. Decisiveness is a strength because it takes the pen back. Decisiveness is power in motion. Power is not loud. It doesn't rush, but it never hesitates. Thomas Shelby understands that decisiveness is what turns intention into dominance. It is the moment thought becomes action, and action becomes authority. Indecision keeps power theoretical. Decisiveness makes it real. The decisive man moves with purpose, even when the path is uncertain. He doesn't wait for permission. He doesn't look for approval. He chooses and the world adjusts. This is why indecision is a weakness. It delays impact. It erodes presence. It signals uncertainty to everyone watching. Shelby never allows that signal to escape him. He acts with calm certainty, not because he knows everything, but because he trusts his ability to correct course without panic. Decisiveness creates momentum. Momentum creates pressure. Pressure creates dominance. Once you move decisively, others are forced to react. And the man who reacts is never in control. The decisive mind is feared because it is unpredictable. It cannot be stalled. It cannot be intimidated. Shelby's strength comes from this principle: make the decision. Own the outcome. Adapt without emotion. No hesitation. No second guessing. No retreat. Indecision keeps men average. Decisiveness separates leaders from followers, because in the end, power belongs to the man who moves first and keeps moving while others are still deciding. Conclusion: indecision is a weakness. Indecision is not patience. It is fear disguised as thought. It is the quiet moment where power slips through your fingers. While you convince yourself you're being careful, Thomas Shelby never waits for certainty. He waits for the moment to move, and when it comes he doesn't hesitate. Because the world doesn't reward the man who thinks the longest. It rewards the man who chooses. Every delay weakens you, every pause gives someone else the advantage, and every moment spent doubting yourself teaches the world that you can be pushed. Strength is not about knowing everything. It's about trusting yourself enough to act and adapting without emotion. The decisive man creates momentum. Momentum creates pressure. Pressure creates dominance. Indecision keeps you stuck, watching others live the life you could have taken, so decide. Move, own the outcome, because in this world, indecision is weakness, and decisive men control everything.